Good evening, TC, and welcome all to our weekly podcast, Terry Curran's football podcast with the Idler Hillsborough, Mr. Terry Curran. Steady away, son, how are you?
Yeah, not too bad. We'd have a good today for the day out. Me, Roger Wilde, Cliff.
You wasn't going for that vacant job as a mascot there, was you, at Harrogate?
Gabby, don't get like this woke people out there.
I heard them on
But
Talk Sport
no, I
today.
wouldn't.
So what was the day like out in Harrogate? It's a nice part of the world, isn't it, T?
Brilliant.
Mm.
Absolutely brilliant.
What are you stuffing your face with, mate? Cake?
Pork pie.
You like a bit. What kind of pork pie do you like? Do you like the one normal pork pie or one with a little bit of an egg in the middle?
Normal pork pie.
Yeah, and is that?
I know there's a pork pie up. There's a bread shop up in our village. Beautiful shells, you know.
So you
got a
get
couple of pork pies for lads today. And we've had them, and then we went on to Harrogate today for a bit of lunch.
So you get proper pork pies there, don't you?
Yeah.
It's like Yorkshire puddings. Your Yorkshire puddings in Yorkshire are much different to the ones we have in Birmingham.
That's why it's called Yorkshire pudding.
Exactly. Before we get on to the magic moments, too, you have had a great day out. You did have a great day out last week as well, when a bunch of you guys went. Tony Curry was one of them, because I saw that picture and instantly last Friday. You still with TC? A bit of an echo there, but tell us all about it.
Gabby, forget that bit. Like at night time, my old local club had a reunion. It was brother's birthday. I got pissed out of my head. I've never been that drunk for a long time.
On what? Vodka?
Oh, yeah, absolutely pissed out of my head. I fell over 3 times walking across the field. And I pulled coach down with me.
Oh my God! Because I mean, anyone that knows you don't drink, do you?
Yeah. No, I very rare, but
Yeah,
I
you have
do
the
think it's
occasional
very
one.
rare, like.
Yeah.
But no, going back to the daytime, it was to do with Alziemers.
Yeah.
Great to catch up with TC, Mark Smith, Hughie Downs, Roger Wilde, a bunch of old ex-players. What a great day out. Just to have a mingle and talk about, especially about the Alziemers, but, you know, just reminisce about great days.
Was John Stiles there? Because I have made contact and he has spoken to you or interacted with you and said that he very much would like to do a podcast with you about that. Is John linked up? Because he lives in Doncaster,
I got a
doesn't
message
he?
this week from John. So me, Roger, are going to, Roger Wilde.
Yeah.
And Cliff are going to get together and have a chat about this Alzheimer's and what can be done and how we can help the older players.
Yeah.
What I've got some form of Alzheimer's.
Because what that was at Hillsborough, wasn't it, last Friday?
Yeah, but that's the first one.
Yes.
Whereas Sheffield United, Chesterfield, Rotherham have been doing for a couple of years.
Yeah.
So, and they've gone great, but that was their first one. So, you know, that's a start, isn't it?
Absolutely. So the northern clubs there seem to be forming a little bit of a union, working together and supporting Alzheimer's.
Yes, yes.
Absolutely fantastic.
You know, don't be disrespect to anyone. I mean, don't make a difference to me. I can get on with my life.
Yeah.
But it's an industrial injury. Any injury, what's an industrial injury? People should be helped on.
Yeah.
And there's hundreds and hundreds of ex-players struggle when there's that much money into the game. When some of it could have been put aside to put at one side to help those types of players.
What you doing with your phone tonight, son? It's really like blowing. You in a wind tunnel?
What it is, I would just put it on my chest. You can hear it now, can't you?
You can multitask, DC,
because I know I can't multitask. I'm half pissed as that. But carry on.
Are you still drunk?
I've had a few drinks today, so I better go off. But I'm not pissed. I'm okay, yeah.
So, tell me about the night when you had your reunion. What was, where was it? What was it like? And let's have a name check of some of the players that attended.
Well, obviously down at my local team when I started it, my brother's David's 71st birthday.
Yeah.
71st birthday. He's 18 months older than me. But it was great to catch up with some of the old players who I played with when we were kids.
Yeah.
You know, Ian Orobin, Stuart Orobin, Jeff, Dave Daly, Joey Kelly, Kev Kelly, Smashing Hammond. You know, lots of players. We just had one. You get on one, you think I'll just have a couple, and then one led to two, two led to four, four led to eight, eight led to 16, 12, 16, you know, and then I finished up coming out there about 2:30, falling all over the place.
Oh, I wish I got a camera. It's a shame that Tom didn't have his phone and
Well, he
was
couldn't stop laughing.
videoing. Yeah, I bet he
there's
couldn't.
a lot of people. I've never seen your dad drunk as much like that, Tom.
And I'm guessing Smasher was a defender.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought so.
That's why they call him Smasher.
Magic moments, TC. Let's get on to that. What did you source for us this weekend?
Again, there's been plenty of goals, but I've gone for Villa's second goal.
Yeah, brilliant, wasn't it?
And the ball out from midfield right out to the left-hand side, and the touch into Durant, and Durant finished it sublimely. But the two passes from right to left, and then Durant, the ball into Durant, and all he's got to do is put it into back in net. When I said got to put it into back in net, it was a great finish.
Yeah.
But that was my, because I like to change it from everything about different types of goals or different types of players in the build up to the game. So that was my magic moment.
It was superb. It was just bang bang in the back of the net, wasn't it? What do you think about John Duran? I quite like him. I think there's really very much a player inside him. But he is I said to my dad, I took my dad over the pubs. My dad's suffering with Alzheimer's and dementia. It was the first time that he'd been out for a while, and we took him over the pub, had a good old chat. And I says, "What do you reckon to him, Dad?" Because whenever I look at him, sometimes he looks like a world beater, and then other times he looks like a panel beater. But he's got a bit of the Drogbas about him and the Bentekes.
The thing about him, Gabby,
yeah,
and this is how I look at it, right? And I don't go on other people's, when I say other people's opinion, because I think we are the biggest critics in the world. If the team is consistent, I'm on about the team now, not an individual player, because the Manchester City, all those players are consistent because the team's consistent. You know what I mean?
Yep, I do. Yeah.
So Villa can be hit and miss, but if they get it right, they look a very, very good team.
Yeah, they do.
And the counter-attacking is second to none.
Yeah.
So for me, I think when Villa are on song, so is Durant. So I do like him.
Yeah,
I do like him.
I do, and he's featured a few times in our Magic Moments last season. I think that he's got everything. He's got power. He's got pace. I just think he needs that little bit of composure, but he's young and that will come. A little bit of working on, a little bit of brushing up. I think Villa have got a fantastic central striker there.
I think they're going to have a good season, Villa.
Yeah, I do. I was very impressed. I mean, we went out, so I've not been in much this weekend, but I was very impressed from what I've seen of Ananu, the old Everton boy. I mean, I've heard people, in the media saying his form dipped. But again, going back to what you've just said, when teams' forms dip, players' forms dip as well, and it's that consistency. And you put them players in better teams with more consistent players and teams that are playing better consistently, you're going to get a diamond. And I think he could be
100%. And that's what people have got to look at.
Yeah.
You look at Manchester City's and Liverpool's when they're on form, and when Man United were winning everything.
Yep.
The team is consistent.
Yeah.
And you tell me a player in any team when the team is consistent, that looks a bad player, because you don't see it, do you?
No, you don't. No.
Right. But when you get when you get the third, fourth, fifth, sixth, you'll say, oh, if he's more consistent, the team has to be consistent, Gabby.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you do look at the old Liverpool teams in the past, I mean, they've always had stars, but you look at some of them players and you think, wouldn't have really thought that they were a Liverpool player or a kind of star, but they just fit into that system that the Liverpool managers of old and now the newer ones, how they play. Same as Ferguson. Didn't always buy star players. He bought players that fit in and done a job.
If you look at teams will have a philosophy to suit the player.
Yeah.
You get a much more consistent performance out of the team itself.
Yeah.
And they all go on about Guardiola, he spends this and he spends that. But majority of his players, they weren't stars what's come. They were very good players. Mm-hmm. And he puts them together and they've got that. I mean, Ireland were always a goal scorer. You could see that it'd make a difference to Manchester City.
Yeah.
But when you look at them players, you know, they're not the top players when they sign them from their teams. They're a top player in the sense that they're a good player in that team, but they're not the number one player in that team.
Well, now, I mean, you look at the head boy there at Man City, and he has been for the last few seasons, Kevin De Bruyne. I mean, Chelsea, Mourinho let him go. I think he went over to Germany. And then come back and has been an absolute revelation. And you look at the likes of Gundogan.
What a player he's been for Manchester City.
Absolutely, David Silva, Bernardo Silva, all these star names. You can look at the whole of the Manchester City team, and you're right, they wasn't standout star name players when Guardiola bought them, but he buys in players that he knows that can do a job in a certain position and for the team, and that's what the better managers and the better clubs do,
he buys in players that he knows is going to fit that philosophy.
Absolutely.
And when he buys them, every one of them, it's not having to teach them how to play football, because the first touch is sublime anyway.
Yeah.
The awareness is sublime, and the understanding of the game, and being able to fit into the pattern of play. It's all second. They don't just fit in as though they've been there for years.
Absolutely. My magic moments too. Again, Louis Barry, he scored a fantastic goal.
Great goal.
Again, Stockport versus Blackpool. I love the way he took it from the left and he cutting. You're thinking, blimey, and what I loved about that goal is the more that he went over to the right, he put a right foot shot straight across back to the left, didn't he? Across the goalkeeper. So I thought that was absolutely perfect. James Berry's
Just
goal.
Just 1 second, Gavin. You know what baffles me?
Yeah, go on.
You look at Leeds United, even under Bielsa, they've never had a proper goal scorer.
No, they've just sold one.
I don't understand why some of these clubs don't look at the lower level. Because there's got to be goal scorers at that lower level. Young kids, when I say young kids, 23, 24, 25, what would improve when they go into these types of teams like Leeds United?
Absolutely.
Or into a West Ham? It just baffles me.
Yeah, we used to do that in old money. We buy these kids from, lesser known clubs, if you like, from the second division or from the third division or the fourth division as it was back then. I mean, Ian Rush come from Chester. The whole of the first division was littered with players that come from clubs that that were lower down the pyramid. Now they want to buy these world famed stars and almost buy an instant international player to fit into an international team.
You say they want to buy world famed stars,
but they don't.
A lot of these players they're buying are very average players.
Absolutely, too.
They're paying way over the top for some of the players. It's unreal.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's absolutely ridiculous. Some of the prices that they're paying for some of these so-called perceived world international stars, and I think that the worst thing that clubs do, and that they've always done it to a certain extent. You'll watch the Euros or watch the World Cup, and then they'll go and buy a player on the back of that, and I think, well, do you know what? That often ends in tears. But you're right, you get some value from lower leagues.
How many times have they done that in all, Gabby? Over the years.
I know they keep repeating the same stupid, yeah.
All I'm saying, you look at Leeds, look at a decent team.
Yep.
But even when Bielsa were there, they were always lacking a goal scorer.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, why not go and have a look at a lower level club?
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not saying you're looking for a 28, 29-year-old.
Yeah.
Have a look at any team what's got a kid at 24, 25.
Yeah. 100%. And again,
scoring 25 on a regular basis goals.
Yeah, absolutely.
And say, well, maybe that's spending £10 million on a player like that and giving him that opportunity to express himself, see if he can do it.
Yeah, and again, going back, that's what we used to do in the olden days. We'd go down the leagues and buy them players, bring them through to the first division, and then, in the main, they'd cut it and swim at that level. But, these days the game's gone absolutely bonkers. James Berry's goal for Chesterfield against Crewe, fantastic result for Chesterfield, 5-0 away win at Crewe. I just love the way he took the ball just come to him. He took it and he's like just popped it in the top corner. So I thought that was fantastic. But
First 15 minutes, they're 3-0 down.
no, it's incredible, isn't it? I mean,
at any level of football, there's something wrong when you're 3-0 down after 15 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, how far down now have Crewe gone? I mean, Crewe might even go into the what is it now? Is it the Vanarama, the conference, whatever you want to call it these days? Yeah, they could get relegated out of the
Football
League
League,
Two. Yeah, Football League. And, I mean, we got 5 leagues really because most of them in the conference now they're all professional. But yeah, Crewe do look as though they're in some trouble. And fantastic result for Chesterfield, and he's done a really good job there, hasn't he, the gaffer?
Yes. Well, he did a great job before they left last time, didn't he?
Yeah, I thought he was a good player. Good player as well, though I thought Cookie was. Had a great career, tremendous player there at Wolverhampton Wanderers. But yeah, I've always liked the gaffer there. But the magic moment for me was, it was Jamie Vardy again getting on the goal sheet against Tottenham. 37
years of age.
103 goals he scored now since he's turned 30. And was it 137 goals he scored in the Premier League? But what a character, what a lad. I mean, one of the players for me. I love everything about Jamie Vardy, I love, and everything about Jamie Vardy just speaks volumes of the game that I love football. I mean, there he was with his Red Bull after the game, wasn't he? Taking the piss out the Tottenham fans when he scored.
And one coach lets him go.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't
it? They want to blame this and they want to blame that. They let him go for. I know about Jamie Vardy. They let him go because he was small. Yes, there's all the, but that was an excuse to cover up because of his ability. They let him go because we don't like small players, and when it turns out that they prove people wrong, then they'll find some form of way of making an excuse why they let him go.
Absolutely, but I just think he's tremendous. He had hardly any pre-season. He got injured in the one game. He's had a few training sessions. Leicester City are struggling. Gaffer, I'm ready, but you've only had a training session. Don't matter. I'm Jamie Vardy. I'm a football player. This is what you pay me to do. I just think he's fantastic. And for any young kids, wanting to look up to someone and try and emulate them, be like Jamie Vardy. What an absolute legend of a player. And what a great kid, and one that you'd like to go on a piss with, Jamie Vardy. No bullshit, no airs and graces. What you see is what you get.
It's been a great signing for Leicester, and it's been a signing where they've kept faith with each other. They could have gone to Arsenal a couple of times, couldn't they?
Yeah, could yeah.
He chose to stay there. And it's worked out for Leicester and for Jamie.
Absolutely, and let's not forget that Gareth Southgate, it was Gareth Southgate that retired him. I know Jamie Vardy retired himself, but it was only because of the fact that he was never ever going to get a kick for England, while Harry Kane had got 2 working legs, and Gareth Southgate was the manager.
Didn't fancy him.
No, not at all.
Jamie Vardy didn't fancy Southgate, so Jamie Vardy made it easy for Southgate. So look, I've retired.
Absolutely.
And that's how you should look at it.
Yeah. Yeah, but again, just a shame that we haven't seen at international level Jamie Vardy more, because he's just been a
there's no point
player.
in going if you're not going to be playing on a regular basis.
100%, absolutely 100% beyond
Jamie
Vardy.
When you know 100%. You're good enough to play, right? You can turn around and say, well, he's got this strike, he's got that strike. That's okay. We'll pick him.
Yeah.
I'd sooner not go than just sit on a bench.
Absolutely, and that's what Vardy says. And good luck to Jamie. And let's hope he keeps scoring goals and scores the goals that keep Leicester City in the Premier League. Going back to Onana, did you see his fist bumps at the end of the game to the Villa fans?
Yes.
I thought that was magnificent. He almost looks like an instant cult hero to the whole 10, doesn't he? And what a presence. And then, did you notice Brighton's manager, Fabian Herzler, did you see his fist bumps to the Brighton fans?
No, I didn't. But I tell you what,
It was the most lily-limped fist I'd ever seen in my life. It was. It wouldn't have knocked down a feather. It was like really embarrassing. It was the polar
well,
opposite to Ananas.
they will look at that.
Mm.
Whereas the fist bumps from any English coach, it'll be like a racist fist bump. But when it's a weak fist bump, oh, ain't it brilliant that he done this and done that? That's the difference, Gabby.
Yeah.
We all.
But Hertzler, 31 years of age, Brighton manager, I think they could be a dark horse as well. They've bought really well during the summer, and I like everything about Brighton over Albion. I think they're a great club. I think they've really done well, and it wouldn't surprise me if they didn't get back in that top eight and qualify for Europe this season. I think they've got some fantastic players in that squad.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Everton would have done okay this year. I
Yeah.
fancied them a little bit, Everton,
Mm.
to beat Brighton, but they got absolutely well and truly trounced.
And terrible goals to concede, weren't they? So open. I
Yes.
mean, don't help when you have a player sent off, of course. But again, Brighton, great value for their victory on the first game of the season. I think they're going to have many victories. So well done, Fabian Herzler. You're going to be doing lots more fist bumps, but try and make it a little bit more aggressive, son. Book corner TC. Under the floodlights, which we have mentioned on previous podcasts, it is our book of the month. 60 Years of the League Cup by Rob Carlos. I'm going to be doing a podcast with Rob, a book corner extra time. A fantastic book of the League Cup, which has kicked off last week. Sheffield Wednesday, your team, are in the next round, as are my team, Birmingham City. But I have heard today, or I've seen today, Prime Video are going to be broadcasting Champions League games. Alan Shearer, for one, has come out and said that there's too many games of football being played. And I'm thinking, no shit, Sherlock. They've just invented more games in the Champions League that you're part of and you're commentating on, and it is going to be to the detriment of the cups. We done about Tim Pot, the book last week of the cups that we've lost over the years. I just hope that we don't lose the League Cup in whatever guise it is, Carabao, Littlewoods, etc., etc., because I think it's a fantastic competition. But like all these cup competitions in this country, they keep telling us we play too much football, TC. We don't. We play too many games in Europe and international football, but they never have a go at those because that is the goose that's laying their golden eggs.
Yeah. Well, you know as well as I
Yep.
do, they're trying to push the Premier League out. The more games they keep playing, the more. That's the word I'm looking for. It's like the World Cup. There's going to be more and more
Yeah, water it
poorer
down.
teams.
Yeah.
There's more poor teams in that Champions League now.
Has to be, don't they? If there's more
It
teams, yeah.
looks so weak and pathetic.
Yeah.
It does not get important now until the quarterfinals or last 16.
I think maybe that's why they've changed it because they're not doing it in those group stages that they used to do. They're going to be doing
Well,
draws where you draw eight. I think you have 8 games. I think you play 4 home, 4 away, but you don't play the same teams home and away. It's going to be interesting. I think they're drawing it on Friday, so it's going to be interesting to see what format now it works out. But
Gabby, if they I'm sure they'd make more money if they gave the top teams against each other on a knockout basis.
yeah, I'm sure they would do.
I'm
Yeah.
sure it would pull more TV fans. I'm sure it would.
Absolutely, but they're trying to make the competition even bigger. What they want eventually, we know we've talked about this for the last few years, is the European Super League, and it's done by stealth. And bit by bit, they keep chip away. Then all of a sudden, we'll go, well, blimey, how did this happen? We've got an Eastern and a Western Conference here of the Super League. And that's eventually what they will do. There ain't
Yeah.
going to be enough weekends or weekday games in the football calendar, and they'll just swallow everything up. And money rules, and money will take football to the next level to the detriment of cups and of the smaller football clubs as well. Now,
I think you're 100% right there.
I hope I'm wrong too, but I can
You
just
know,
see it
you're
happening.
100% right.
Sir Bill, the definitive biography, the complete works of Bill Nicholson by Norman Giller, who I think Greavesy used to call him Norman the Driller, Giller rather, and Steve Penniman, Skip. That looks as though it's going to be a fantastic book. I mean, Bill Nicholson may be one of the managers that when we do talk about great managers, is one that often gets forgotten.
all the cups in this competition that have been forgotten, all of them. And you get some clubs, and you think to yourself, these are a massive club.
Yeah.
And you think to yourself, what are they trying to push? I was just saying to Tom and Jock the other day, I can't believe that Bournemouth and Brentford have been so successful in the Premier League. Who would have thought that?
Yeah, absolutely. But again, it's only the money that's propped them up. I mean, when you're looking at them with small grounds, small capacities, small fan base,
I get it, Gabby, but
it's all the TV money. You've said before, Ian, yeah, they actually don't need fans inside the grounds anymore.
they don't. They definitely don't need that.
And I think
regardless what fans, I keep telling fans, they do not need you in the ground, and they're pushing you out.
Yeah.
They are pushing them out, and all that will be corporate. I watched a thing with Burnley, and their corporate was sold out for season.
Yeah,
right, and that's what they want to do. They want to use the behind the ground.
Absolutely.
And the sides of the ground
and the
to
TV
make them
money
into restaurants and for the corporate.
Absolutely, Teen. I think those two clubs are living proof that is going on under our very eyes. But Sir Bill Nicholson, a man that often does get left out and does get forgotten, what tremendous achievements he had at Tottenham Hotspur, and all going to be encapsulated in this new book by Norman Giller and Steve Perryman. Bill Nicholson, did you ever come across Bill during your career, T?
Not as I can remember. I remember him as a manager for Tottenham and being a great manager for Tottenham. And I still think he was managing when I was playing for Doncaster and Forest. I think Forest. I'm not quite sure, but I remember him. As a 14, 15-year-old, being a great manager for Tottenham. And I went to watch Tottenham play Liverpool because of Sil knows and a lot of lads what went to school. We said we went up to Liverpool.
Yeah.
So that would be 73 years.
Yeah, because I think he retired. In 74. Bill Nicholson, but a tremendous manager, and of course Tottenham. The manager when Tottenham were the first team of the century to win the double in 1961.
61.
And then, instead of like sitting there and resting on the laurels, they go and bring back Jimmy Greaves from Italy and make the champions and the cup winners, the double winners, an even better proposition and team. So it's going to be a very interesting and very thorough and I think a must for not just Tottenham supporters, but football supporters of a certain age, because Bill Nicholson certainly was one of the greats. And while we're on the Tottenham theme, A History of Spurs by Paul Trevelyan and Harry Harris. I've cut a podcast with Paul Trevelyan, and that can be accessed on YouTube, Spotify, or wherever you access your podcasts. Patreon is a good one for us. If you want to become a patron, it does help us financially to support the project. All the w's.patreon.com/SRB Media. Legends Lounge TC, Legends of the 70s, David Graham Rushby. Are you familiar with that name, sir?
Did he play for Sheffield Wednesday?
Yeah, he did, yeah. Born on the 20th...
Game of physio.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah.
Born on the 20th of February 1956 in Wolverhampton, so down the road from me. Went to the Albion in 74 to 76. Played 31 games. didn't score a goal. And then he moved to Sheffield Wednesday in 1976 stayed there till 1979. In fact,
and to listen to the rest of this podcast, head on over to www.patreon.com/SRB Media. Thank you.